When the universe was newly born just 1 billion years after the Big Bang, time at that time moved forward 5 times more slowly than the clock's hand moves today. A strange phenomenon that looks like time has passed in the past. Slower than today. This is due to the time dilation predicted by Einstein's general theory of relativity. This allows humans on Earth in an era when the universe was nearly 14,000 million years old to look back at things in space about 13,000 million years ago, moving and changing in slow motion. The team of scientists included Dr. Geraint Lewis, an astrophysicist at the University of Sydney in Australia, and Dr. Brendan Brewer, a statistician at the University of Auckland in New Zealand. Published the latest findings above in the journal Nature Astronomy, both stated that this is the discovery of the phenomenon of time dilation, which is the oldest that scientists have ever discovered. Previously, Dr. Lewis and Dr. Brewer analyzed data on the changing luminosity of quasars, some of the brightest objects in the universe. This is because at its center is a supermassive black hole that is consuming enormous amounts of interstellar matter, until heat and light energy are generated, shining brightly all around. The two scientists examined 190 distant quasars, ranging in age from 2,450 to 12,470 million years old, tracking their fluctuating brightness over 2 decades. The results show that the wavelength of light that the ancient quasar emits is. This indicates that light from older quasars traveled to Earth at different intervals, taking longer and longer distances, and this is due to the expansion of the universe. Acceleration rate. The light of past quasars still seems, it fluctuates up and down with very slow changes, but that's just what can be seen from an observer's vantage point on Earth. Who is watching the past from the future? If you could go back and live in the early universe, you will feel that time moves normally. 1 second is 1 second like on Earth, explains Dr. Lewis. But if we look back at the universe in the past, from the standpoint of people in the future, 13 billion years later, the hands of the clock indicating time in the past will appear to have moved at an alarming pace. The results of our study prove that quasars are space objects that are truly governed by the laws of physics in the universe. It is also new evidence that helps confirm that the idea of the universe expanding is correct, Dr. Lewis concluded. And not too long ago, physicists used gravitational waves to find out the beginning of time, the event that created the universe, or the Big Bang. It is considered the beginning of a huge expansion of space-time. Currently, we humans do not have the tools to be able to look back and study the origins, including the beginning of all things. But recently a team of scientists from Princeton University's Plasma Physics Laboratory, PPPL, in the US, has proposed a new method that uses gravitational waves. It has become a tool for searching for the origins and studying the early days of the universe. Instead of using light or light particles, photons, which had not yet been born during the Dark Ages, the first 397 years after the Big Bang event. Deepan Garg, a PhD researcher at PPPL, who led the team studying the matter, said, "We cannot directly see the early universe, but we might be able to recognize it through analysis of ancient gravitational waves. By looking at how these waves affect the matter and radiation of everything they travel through." Gravitational waves, according to Einstein's theory of general relativity, occurs from the movement of massive objects in space, causing ripples in space-time that spreads out endlessly in the universe like waves of water. Gravitational waves are not blocked or absorbed by things they pass at the speed of light. Scientists can now use equipment to detect gravitational waves reaching Earth. after a collision between a black hole or a neutron star can occur. For example, the LACO Gravitational Wave Observatory in the U.S. states of Washington and Louisiana. A research report published in the Journal of Cosmology and Astroparticle Physics states that a team of researchers developed a mathematical equation to be a formula for calculating various properties of space objects in the early universe using the movement of electromagnetic waves in the plasma, which is present in normal nuclear fusion reactors, become a prototype, and create a formula for calculating gravitational waves as they move through matter. This is because the movement of these two types of waves is similar. This calculation is based on the principle that when gravitational waves travel through matter such as stars, will cause a slight light to occur. The nature of the light depends on the mass and density of the star. The research team believes that this equation can be used to calculate to know the past conditions of stars billions of light years away. Moreover, it will be possible to develop such equations to reveal important information about the early universe, or even the Big Bang event in the near future. Humans are trying to measure time more and more precisely, such as the invention of the new atomic clock. There is a price that must be paid without realizing it. The cost of doing so may be an increase in the chaos and disorder of the universe. A team of physicists from the UK and Austria reports their discovery in the journal Physical Review. It uses a 50 nanometer thick silicon nitride membrane that vibrates up and down when it receives an electric current. If the membrane moves up and down once, the researcher will count that as one movement of the clock hand. As for the accuracy of this clock, it depends on whether the interval between each move is evenly spaced or not, when trying to adjust the watch to run with higher precision. The research team found that more heat was generated in the system than before. This will cause the surrounding particles to collide and cause chaos. Make entropy or lawlessness within the system increases as well. Dr. Natalia Aries, one of the researchers from Oxford University, said, "Trying to measure time more accurately equal to adding orderly energy into the system. This causes it to be converted into entropy or ever-increasing chaos. If the disorder in the universe is too high to be restored, the universe may collapse. But we shouldn't be worried about this. This is because the entropy value increased only slightly from the time measurement experiment," Dr. Aries said. The research team also noted that a phenomenon in which entropy increases as they try to measure time more accurately, consistent with the concept, the so-called arrow of time, indicates that time moves only forward and never returns to the past. This is because the total entropy in the universe is constantly increasing, to the point of being unable to bring the current turbulent situation back to its original order. This discovery will not only increase our understanding of similarities and differences between the worlds of particle physics and classical physics in terms of thermodynamics and time, it can also be applied to create highly accurate futuristic watches, such as the clock used in quantum computers. This must take into account precision and internal temperature at the same time. If you like space stories, you are our friend. Click follow and press the bell so you don't miss any action.